Yeah, hi everybody, this is Tony. So today we're back in South Africa. We're going to be up by the Namibian border, basically on the Namibian border. Got a lot of interesting stuff to show you, a lot of plants that smell really bad, and we're going to end it with a shot of a cactus looking bastard on top of a rocky barren mountaintop with the wind blowing through it real nice. Nice ambience. But first, we don't have a sponsor, so instead, I was just going to play a voicemail that Al left me a couple days ago about his friend Tommy playing the lottery. Enjoy.
Tommy at work, he plays the lotto all the time, and he's always just, that's all he talks about, and it's all, that's what he does on his lunch break. He goes and buys a bunch of lotto tickets, and then, the other day, he's complaining to me he's got high blood pressure, this and that, and he doesn't eat nothing but hot dogs and Twinkies and shit, and I'm like, no wonder your blood pressure's high, I try to have the oatmeal talk with them, but that's not happening. So, I just frustrated. I say, you know what, Tommy? Why don't you play your fucking blood pressure numbers in the lotto? Tony won $5,000. He did that, and he won $5,000 on a partial Powerball because he played his diastolic blood pressure numbers. Because I said I was just fucking with him, and it turns out he wins $5,000. You know what the rub is? He won't give me none of it. He says after taxes it's like $2,800, and I don't deserve shit because I just give him crap all the time. So, I'm going to key his car.
Greetings from the side of the road in the Makwaland. You're watching a crime Pays But Botany Doesn't. Today I'm coming to you from about, 30 miles south of the Namibian border in the northern coast of South Africa, the northwest coast of South Africa, excuse me. We're going to start off today looking at this weird bastard, this juicy Sesame family's Isoaceae. This is Mesembryanthemum barkley. It's a biennial right here. You can see it's got these goddamn humongous leaves just covered in those little water bladders right there on the side. There's the dried inflorescence. Not going off at present, but you can bet your ass it's a banger when it does. I mean, that right there is probably, 2.5 feet across from leaf end to leaf end right there. This family, Isoaceae, is incredibly species rich down here. I mean, it's fucking remarkable. There's those capsule fruits right there. Can see it's just all what we're on is basically just the alluvial sands of just the weathered surrounding metamorphic rocks, the ancestral lands of the Khoisan people, as well as the Nama people further north. Coming up next to this beautiful Lacanalia right here, we got another iris. Everything's so short here. Probably a number of selection pressures. You can see the anther on the underside of that petaloid style right there. Pollinator's got to crawl in there, crawl down towards the base of that flower, whatever the attractant is, nectar, perhaps some fragrance. Get in there and then come in contact with the anther and hopefully the style as well. Morea is a very species-rich genus, over 200 species. Let's look at those three petaloid styles. See, there's that purple anther right there, and in that little notch, that's where the stigma is. All right, so you got petaloid styles, and then 6 tepals, an inner and an outer whorl. Look at this bastard down here, Oncosyphon. Asteraceae, of course. Oh yeah, very glandular. Smells quite pleasant. No ligules, bulbous heads, bulbous flower heads with God knows how many goddamn flowers. Look like 300 little tiny florets per head right there. And the lacy foliage. If you're into that sort of thing, you sick fuck. Yeah, my name is Larry David, and I happen to enjoy wearing women's panties. It's a succulent composite. Succulent Asteraceae. How does a family which has so few succulent members in North America, I guess you got a couple genera, Virilla being one of them, but how does it evolve? How does it have so many succulent members in Africa? Okay, I guess once it evolves, that trait turns out to be so advantageous, it just rapidly spreads and speciates and radiates. When I say rapidly, of course, I'm referring to, many hundreds, if not thousands of human lifetimes, but that's still rapidly in terms of geologic time. The leaves are just succulent and bulbous little balls. succulent, bulbous little balls. Nodding flower heads. Seems these guys are done. And then but they stand straight up once the flowers are mature. Look at the dimpling on there too. Some red pigmentation to help with the excess UV light. A nice Lachenalia species. Look at that guy. Look at the leaves on it. Undulate margins. The red margin too. Look at those flowers. Got the stamens and the style both poking out right there. Just coming up on the side of the road on the way to Namibia. Banger genus right here. 300 species in the genus Lachenalia violacea with the mauve filaments and the mauve inner tepals. Slightly larger than the outer tepals. Nice. More of the beetle daisies. Look at those leaves. Look at the underside of those leaves. White, woolly. Actually, the hairs are kind of stinging. Texture like sandpaper. There's the flower. Got to dupe those male beetles, those dumb dicks, into getting into the flower and pollinating them. That's why you got those patterns at the towards the base of the ligule right there. Ligules are curved in like that, though. That's pretty impressive. What do those filaries look like? Oh, yeah. So many of these weird bastards here. Again, a trait evolves and it works so good, it results in a irradiation of numerous species possessing that trait. Okay, hold on. All right, so this is the genus Gazania. You got to look at those filaries to differentiate between this genus Gazania and the closely related genus Gorteria. Gorteria diffusa is generally known colloquially as the beetle daisies, though it's actually pollinated by the Cape bee fly. But they both have these patterns on those ligules, right? Gorteria and Gazania both have those patterns on ligules. You got to look at the filaries, just like with most members of Asteraceae, to figure out what genus you're looking at. Like little green fingers on the sand. More mycems. Chirodopsis robusta. Look at it. Let's just get down and touch one of them. I'm going to touch one pair of those opposite leaves. Ooh. It kind of doesn't feel too bad. Kind of gross, but not too bad. Look, it's just a little mound, the little green fingers. Okay, out here in the desert close to the Namibian border, this guy seems to be dominating. Another mycem. Genus here is Stobaria. Isoaceae, the little chubby fingers. Alternating whirls of little green chubby fingers. And there's that perianth right there. The petaloid staminodes. Sterile stamens acting as floral attractants. But this thing's dominating. You can see why. All the water it contains in those succulent and juicy leaves. And underlying it all, you can see some bedrock. We still got some tortured granite. Metamorphosed granite, as indicated by those striations. Those lateral striations. So much hot metamorphic action. Very old granites too, probably 1 billion years old, thus giving it ample time to have been subjected to heat, to pressure, and possibly contortion. Now we got a nice accumulation of trash on the side of the road, but also got these rather illustrious blooming mesems. Amazing what those petaloid staminodes can do. But again, still just the... Oh, you got the... I was going to say 2 leaves per node, but in this case it looks like 4. It's so 2 to 4. Actually, seems to be 4 in every one. That's nice. Look at all the camps. You got so many composites. Where's the filaries? Where the filaries at? There you go. Look at this guy. Oh, you can get a nice money shot of the styles. Poking out right there. Check out the filaries on this guy. And of course you got you little succulent senesioid bastard back there. Coming up against the backdrop of a 1 billion-year-old tortured and metamorphosed granite we got this bizarre geophyte right here. Ornithogalum xanthoclorum from the Asparagaceae. Get a nice money shot of those flowers. Little champagne bottle of a, look at that little champagne. Oh, you got some pollen coming off right there. The beetles are in there doing their thing. Little champagne bottle ovary, top by the style. And look at those luscious leaves. Lusciousleaves.com. Look at it. Look at it stuck. Oh, they got the wax. You got the farina. Oh, get up in there and look at it. Look at that flower. Get up in there. Look at that glistening ovary, which will be maturing into a capsule fruit. That beetle's just poised up there upside down. Look at those anthers, the hissing, spilling pollen everywhere. Ah! More smelly composites. Look at the glands. Glands are... Look at those tiny leaves. Tiny monocot leaves. Just coming up in the sand, in the cracks. Can't imagine they got much room to go down there. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you find a little fissure or something. Look, they're all over here. More Drimia. More poisonous Drimia. Hyacinthaceae. Look, we got a member of the chicory subfamily of Asteraceae growing out of a rock wall. Look at those leaves. Spiny as hell, rather mean. Each little tooth in the leaf margin topped by a little point, a little spine. Getting ready to flower. Not quite there yet. Then, of course, just covered in the wool. Covered in those trichomes. Oh, it's starting to get kind of hot. Just see a little lizard anyway. Anyway, Malvaceae is the family on this guy here. Mannia is the genus. There's those little flowers. Hard to believe it's a mallow. Hard to believe it's a member of the cotton family. Well, I guess not. You look at those leaves and the calyx and whatnot. But those, look at those flowers. The proboscid flies pollinate this. Now, standing on the side of the road next to the Namibian border, we have a shrub which smells like utter hell. You can see those very distinct horn-like fruits on there. Looks like they got 2 or 3 locules to them. And then right here at the base of this quartzite, this metamorphosed rock, we got a member of the Scrophulariaceae. Look at it. Stiff leaves, very stiff, rigid, sharp, covered in little stiff hairs. And then, of course, that bilaterally symmetrical perianth with those 4 stamens inside. And just the daintiest of little patterns on those 5 corolla lobes. Huh? You prick. God, the smell of this thing is really awful. I can't get over it. It's hilarious how much... I shouldn't even be touching it because now my hands are... Ugh. Ugh. I could see how that would be an effective deterrent. Oh, look, it's the flower open on that smelly bastard. Salviform corolla. And, there's his dongs right there. There's his money shots. How many you got? 4? Looks like 4 anthers in there. 2 separate series. Rogaria longiflora, okay? Opposite leaves, zygomorphic, bilaterally symmetrical corolla. That'll tell you right there. Lamiales, but this is the Sesame Seed Family, Pedaliaceae. I shit you not, the smell of this plant literally makes me nauseous. It could be a purgative. Anyway, there you go. That's why you got those 4 stamens. And there's a style right there in the middle. Seems we have another foul-smelling shrub with the glands. See, it's very glandular. I can feel it. And it does stink. The foliage does smell absolutely terrible. There's the flower right there. Bilaterally symmetrical. Obvious lamiales. Obvious member of the Lamiales. Looks like acanthaceae. Do you see those stamens up there? Looks like how many we got? 4? Looks like 4 stamens in that lower landing pad of a petal right there. Ugh. God, I can't, how do you describe that smell? It's like burning rubber, kind of like a burning rubbery smell with a little bit of like cat piss or putrid old feces maybe. Okay, hold on. Something very cool going on here, all right? Something very cool. Great illustration of something called Protandry, all right? A protandrous flower breaks up the male and the female flowering phase, okay? It goes through the male phase first, androecium, and then becomes female, gynoecium, afterwards, okay? The benefit of this is that it makes outcrossing obligate, okay? So it cannot self-pollinate, which means it's going to get a better mix-up of genes, and it's going to be potentially more successful ecologically and evolutionarily speaking because it's forced to mate with other plants. See what else we get. We tried to get in Namibia, but they weren't having it. You gotta have a COVID test. COVID really ruined the party. What a bummer. Just gave more countries reason to close their borders. That's some nice quartzite though. This, what the shit? What a weird cleomaceae. What a weird cleome. See how many stamens there? 5? No, what the fuck? Jesus Christ, you got those 2 elongated ones, then the ovary in the middle right there. Those 3 petals. What is going on with this flower? There's the fruit. And weirdest of all, there's that the stem. I almost called it a trunk. It looks like a little bonsai tree. What the shit? And what do we got here? Euphorbia phyloclada. Look at it, like little ribbons of green and red. Look at all those bracts. Colorful bracts. Colorful bracts with a lot of red in them. This species is mostly to the north in Namibia. I like your bracts. There's the leaves on that bizarre cleome. Again with that flower. Look at that thing. How do you do that? Nice how the rocks broke up like that. Who did that? Who put them like that? Like little stairs, huh? Was it Ged? We got this guy from the family Amaranthaceae. There's the flowers right there. Photosynthetic stems, barely any leaves, just the tiniest hint of leaves. Vestigial leaves. Forming a nice woody shrub in the desert. I can only imagine what it's like here during the southern hemisphere summer. Must be like the Colorado desert. You know, like south of the Mojave. Look at the damn fuzz on those calyces. Look, woolly, little white woolly hairs. Anyway, there's the flower on that guy. Look how fuzzy he is. Almost fools you into thinking he's a composite. And that those hairs are just the pappus. But you got 5 little pink stamens. So don't lose me now. There we go. 5 pink stamens with a little bulbous bug antenna of a stigma there in the center. And judging by that tonation of pink, I'd say those are betalain pigments for sure. So this guy, thus confirming further, it's one of those genera of Amaranthaceae. The family is Amaranthaceae. There's that Aptosimum and Divisum again. Another scrofe, huh? Look at that little spiny mat. Those leaves tapering to a point. Another scrophulariaceous bezet. Just hiding in the rocks. Hiding amongst the racks. These little imbricate-leaved bastards. Succulent and juicy. seeing these things that look like cacti everywhere, but that's just the dried herbaceous material of what I believe is just another scroph. Just another member of Scrophulariaceae. See, here's one. You can see that the petal right there. Yeah, so those what look like spiny cacti, of course, are just that's just the dried leaves of this plant right here, Acanthopsis disperma of Acanthaceae. So this plant, Acanthopsis disperma, being an annual, just lives for a short time, then dries out, dies and dries out, and just becomes this little booby trap of spines. See, our corazanth, our spine flower, Corazantha spinescens, spinosa, fuck, I haven't seen it in a year or two, so I forget, does the same thing. The green parts just dry to a very stiff and spiny, look, see those leaves? The leaves just dry to a very stiff and spiny thorn-like plant, almost reminiscent of a cactus, but you could see right there, there's that corolla's out. Look, he's got his goddamn stamen out too. He's got his dong out. Excerted. And then the leaves, let's take another look back in her. And the leaves are just covered in all those trichomes with spines on the margins, and then the leaves just eventually wither away, and all that's left is that dense clump of leaves in the center, resembling a little spine, like yay. Those are just the inflorescence bracts. See, and then there's that basal rosetta leaves just dies off. Ooh, but those are spiny as hell too. See that? Again with that stamen just poking out. You're gonna see, you could tell these were laid down in layers, and it appears to just be more metamorphosed, and I guess it could be volcanics too, but to me it looks like metamorphosed sedimentary rocks. Thus the layering. And of course, like everything in this region, just heavily cooked. Heavily metamorphosed. There's that Amaranthaceae bush again. We got a fabaceous bastard down here. That little pink, look at that little pink flower. You can see the calyx poking out from beneath it. Looking like some sort of indigo, perhaps. Leaves covered in trichomes. Little strigose hairs. Odd pinnate. And then down here, we got a member of the, another member of the Cleomaceae. Order Brassicales. And again, just covered in the glands. Covered in the glands, pink ovary. How many stamens you got right there, guy? Jesus Christ. Dimorphic stamens too. Are they dimorphic? Yeah. Or at least at different levels. Different series. There's those leaves down there. Triphid leaves. Oh, he stinks. Of course he stinks. Basically in the Namib Desert. Namakwa land. Look at this. Look at this tree. That white bark, of course, to reflect the heat. White's going to be much more adaptive. Much more of an adaptive trait in the desert than dark bark. Here's those leaves. Jesus Christ, the flies are fucking driving me nuts. Look at the racks. Oh my God. Billion-year-old metamorphosed racks. Okay, now here's a very odd one. All right, this is a disjunct because most of the family is in the quote-unquote New World on the west side of the Atlantic from where we are. But it's got all the same traits. I guess those bracts are a little little weird and bracts on top of the ovary. But can you guess what family this is? Can you? Velcro-like leaves that would stick to clothing. This is a member of the family Loasaceae, a blazing star family, which of course is very species rich in western North America. How this one species got over here, or this one genus rather, is beyond me. Evidently there was a dispersal event at some point in the however many last few million years. Look at these sepals stay on there though. What the shit? And again, just look at those hairs. Look at those hairs. You can see the style is still on top of that ovary right there, that capsule fruit. Pretty weird. Even though it's not in bloom, still pretty remarkable to see. I see why those sepals are so large. I was going to say, because when the fruit dries out, they act like wind dispersal. Little wind dispersal mechanisms to help that fruit get around and dump all the seeds out. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I could see why. You want big sepals like that. They act like sails. Oh, look. This one's got a flower on it. Capensis, capensis, one of 2 species in a genus. The other one's up there in the Middle East. Look at that. Yeah, it looks like it probably came from South America whenever it did. It's probably part of that old clade with those keeled petals. Those concave petals like that. Look at all the stamens on it. Holy shit. God, that's cool. When did you get here? 3 or 4 million years ago, huh? Very unstable talus slopes. Do you like unstable talus slopes? Beautiful rock though. See, they got the nice striations. Look, you could buy that in a rock shop in Sedona for like 90 bucks. But it's metamorphosed, so it's a little bit harder. Feels like cooked sandstone. Yeah, that's pretty. That's beautiful. God, these flies are really making life unpleasant. Hate to be in a rockfall here. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. You got a little step thing going on. What these rocks have seen. Guess there have been humans on this continent longer than anywhere else. 200,000 years. All kinds of species of Homo. All kinds of homos. Sounds like a party. What do you got? Who's stationed what in there? You got a little rat station us in there? What are we doing here? Not, I mean now, but just, you know, there's that horrible smelling. Ugh. I just, you know, mean existentially. You know, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing here? We're just making a mess. You know, we've lost our way. I mean, I don't really think we had a, well, maybe we had a way before industrial civilization, but I'd like to think that we can both have our cake and eat it too. I'd like to think we can have industrial civilization and also not shit all over everything and each other. Except we don't seem to be doing that very well. We seem to be failing at that task. Look at this. How'd you like to be here in a flash flood? If it was warm, I wouldn't mind. You know, take a little jaunt down at the little causeway right there. Yeah, there's always something so nice about the deserts. You get clarity. No people and not very many plants to get in the way. Look at this layer. This looks like mudstone. Probably also been cooked a little bit though. I've never seen so much hot metamorphic action in my life. The flies have almost tapered off a little bit. Well, no, never mind. Anyway, I said industrial civilization. I just meant a technologically advanced civilization. Anyway, look at this nice pour off. Woo, what do we got going on here? Look at this tree. Not very many of them. Wonder how long this has been here. stuck in a wall. What family you think? Anacardiaceae? Look at those veins. I was gonna say ficus, but those veins are making me think otherwise. Could be a ficus. Those roots are impressive though. This has got to be one old bastard. Hey, look at that. Appears to be a ficus. God damn. How old? Look at those roots. Hello, you beautiful old bastard. Look, ensconced in the rock. He's ensconced. I got some of those fucking spines from that, whatever that Loasaceae was, stuck in my hand. Got to be at least 500 years old. We got a pelargonium blooming up there. Oh no, never mind. It's a fagonia. Zygophyllaceous bastards. Family is Zygophyllaceae. There's a surprisingly large amount of Zygophyllaceae species in this region. Look at all those stamens. The filaments surrounding that ovary, covered in the glands, coming up under in a little rock shelter. The shit that has walked past this tree, both animal and human alike. Look, somebody sawed off a trunk at one point. Who knows how long ago? And apparently it just resprouted. And I wonder, when was that? When do you think that was sawed off? How long ago? And why there? I don't know. Beautiful leaves. Look at the leaves on that thing. I'd love to see the flowers, but guess you'd have to be here after a rain. Man, that Acanthaceae, what I thought was just a small herbaceous perennial, is actually a large bush. Given the right conditions, like in the shade in the late afternoon and the evening, and there's those flowers again. It smells like hell. Opposite leaves, very glandular and extremely woody. Ooh. And then look what we got down here. Another scrofe. Look at those tiny flowers. Again, glandular. Everything here is stinky and covered in glands. Orders Lamiales, of course, got 4 stamens in there. Growing out of a crack in the rock at the base of this cliff right here. Look, the way that this layer of rock is slanted, all the water just runs right down. Runs right down into this little crack right here. It's a good place to grow. Another stem photosynthesizer and another fabid. See the banner wings and keel? This goddamn thing won't focus. There you go. Let's try and get a up close money shot. No leaves on this, not even vestigial ones, not that I can see. There's those flowers. Tiny flowers. Tiny flowers on a little spike. Look at another ficus. Even more interesting. They're able to just sprout. Look at this guy sprouting from the roots right here. Cannot be killed. Though somebody obviously tried however long ago. You can see the trunks all cut up. This guy's probably been cut a number of times. Those rocks look like columns of potatoes. I mean, look at this. With that bilaterally symmetrical corolla. Chascanum garipens out of Verbenaceae. Look at it, elongated perianth too, the tubular perianth. Probably some kind of fly with the long proboscis has to get in there, pollinate that thing. Very elongated sepals too. Look at those elongated green sepals. Little mouth. God, they're weird here, and it smells funny too. They all smell, everything stinks, everything's covered in stiff little hairs or smells like hell. There's those opposite leaves. With the serrate margin, little purple stem. Such weird shit down here. Yeah, Verbenaceae, that's a family we haven't seen too much of. Not too species rich down here in South Africa. And look at those, I can't get over it. The proboscis. You gotta stick your proboscis in that tube. Look how elongated that flower is. So many unrelated plants down here have flowers with those long floral tubes. In the order here, of course, is Lamiales again. You got the opposite leaves. You got the zygomorphic, aka bilaterally symmetrical flowers. Then we'll end it with this weird plumbaginaceous bastard. Plumbaginaceae is the family here. You get a horticultural atrocity known as limonium, overused in North America. But this is Diarophytum, is the genus here. Look at those little winged fruits. Let's see if we can find any in flowers still. Probably not. Seems kind of dry here. I think they've all mostly gone to fruit. Oh, you got a couple of flowers on there. The white perianth. I'll put a picture up of what the flowers look like. There's the leaves. Covered in the scales. Photosynthetic stems, of course. Saw this guy up on top of a quartz ridge the other night, too. Well, that's all I got for you tonight. Hopefully you got some out of it. It wasn't too boring, I hope, huh, prick? You know what? I don't care if it was. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking tired. I'm almost done with this shit anyway. Move on to something else. That's all I got for you tonight. Have a good rest of the evening. Good night from northwestern, South Africa, by the Namibian border. They wouldn't let us in because the COVID test. Bullshit. Anyway, there you go. Look at it. Look at the little composite. That's nice. Can you imagine the amount of people that have, the amount of Homo sapiens and other Homo that have gone through this little wash walking through here? I have to think about. Here's a fun one to pronounce. Pegoletia oxyodonta. Another little cap. Looks like a discoid cap. Stinky too. Looks like a Burkelia. Kind of smells like one. That doesn't smell too bad. Actually smells kind of nice. What those filaries look like. Very narrow. Multi-seriate. Oh, sticky. Glandular and sticky. Look at all this shit coming out of that little crevasse in the wall. That's the life, huh? You got to take a shit, just open a window and, you know, drop one out. You know, I wouldn't mind doing that a couple times. I guess it depends who's beneath you, huh? Well, that seems like a good spot to really end the night. A massive candelabra-like euphorbia. Of course, evolutionarily convergent with cactus, but not related to them in any way. Euphorbia virosa. You got its spines Spines derived from stipules, but you still got the ribs. You also got the toxic secondary chemistry, the toxic latex. It looks like somebody's building a little nest in there. You can hear the wind. Look, there's all the new growth for this year. They didn't get much rain up here, apparently. Poinsettia Family. How does that work, huh? Well, the sun's about to go down. Look, you got quite a few more over there. God, it has got to be fucking lonely up here. There is nothing growing here. It is so dry. It's fucking chilly right now, too. You can hear the wind blowing through those stipules, those stipular spines. What an incredible place. About to lose the sun for good. But now I really mean it. That's all I got. Go fuck yourself. Bye.